Hello, hello. Wow, the lag is like really bad today. Holy moly, there we go. Hi, Macy. Hi, Janie. How are you? Hi, Carrie. Oh my gosh, the lag is like so bad, you guys. Or maybe it said I'm a minute or two early. I don't know. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Melissa. Shahara, hello, hello. I hope everybody's week is off to a good start. I know mine is. Let me move the camera closer to the light here. Hi, Jenny, how are you? Yes, Stella, you're the first one to see it. Tonight is, the live color tonight is your choice. In order to get a color on discount, you have to use the code YOURPICK, but it's spelled U-R and then pick. So your pick instead of like Y-O-U-R, just because it was shorter to type. So you're allowed to use that for one color, any one color of your choice this evening. And the reason is because I am doing French ombre because I needed some neutral nails this week. And I figured you guys would want to pick a more exciting color than French white or French pink. So tonight it's your choice. It's a wild card. You can use the code YOURPICK. And actually, while I'm thinking about it, let me go ahead and post that in the pinned comments so you guys know. Anybody new hopping on knows. It always, like, I post a comment and then it just, like, jumps up before I can pin it because there's so many other comments. Hi, Angela. How are you guys? Alright, yeah, so just to recap, you can pick any one color you want tonight, and the code is YOURPICK, spelled U-R-P-I-C-K. YOURPICK. Any one color you want. Yeah, so we are going to do French ombre. My maternity picks got delayed a week, so of course I wanted neutral nails, and I figured, you know, it's a really great chance to show how to do French ombre, because we haven't done that in a really long time, so I'm actually really excited to kind of show you guys that technique this evening. Can you guys see close? Yeah. My pinky was my first finger. I'm a little rusty on the ombre, so don't judge it, but yeah, it looks really good overall. And all I used was French white and French pink. Hi, Tracy. Thank you. Felicia, thank you. It's just a pink poster board that's a marble. It's really like a nice, pretty blush pink, but the lighting in here is like really, honestly, not the best, you guys. Thank you, Melanie. Yeah, I thought it would be time to just kind of switch it up a little bit. I know last week Jenny went. She did live. I almost said I did, but I got it mixed up. Jenny did live last week. Her peppy cure was amazing. It was so beautiful. And then the week before that, I just did plain snow glow. And I was like, I can't just do a solid color again. I got to show a technique. All right. So really embarrassing. Right before live, I'm like cleaning off my desk. And I knocked my entire French white powder over, but luckily it landed like this, and I have a little less than half a jar to use. Thank goodness, because I didn't have another French white handy. Oh my gosh, could you guys imagine? Like, I've never done that before, right before live, and I was really embarrassing. I haven't even had time to vacuum the carpet yet. There's powder all over my carpet. Just a hot mess today. Congratulations, Tracy. She's almost 5 months pregnant. Congratulations. No bump yet. Oh, I'm sure it will be coming soon. Mine is massive. How many weeks am I? I'm 31 weeks, 32 weeks. So I'm kind of near the end. Baby's due, the original due date was July 3rd, but it's measuring kind of big, so they moved it up a few days. Alright, so the nails have already been prepped. Cuticles pushed back, filed, shaped. nicely buffed. You can see they're really dry looking, which is kind of how you want your nails to look before you apply product on it, whether it's peppy gel or anything else that you use. If your nails are oily and slick, whatever you use is just not going to stick. That's not just peppy gel, it's anything in general. So just so you know, make sure they're nice and dry. Make sure your cuticles are completely pushed back. I do highly recommend to file and shape them before getting started. It just makes the process that much easier in the end. And then just dive right into your peppy care with whatever you're going to do. Yeah, Felicia, you're telling me it went by so fast. Yeah, half a jar of French white on the carpet. Oh no, Dawn said she did that with her colder than ice. Oh, it's literally the worst. That's the first time in all of Peppy that I've actually spilled a powder off my desk. And I was so mad at myself. I was like, no, I don't have time to go to the office and get another white. Okay, I need to get started. I'm talking too much. So in order to do the ombre, I'm going to use the ombre brush from the Peppy Nail Art pack. If you don't have the brush pack, you can totally use any other cosmetic brush you have laying around, like an eyeshadow brush. I'm actually going to be using both. The reason being is this one here, sorry. This one here has a really stiff, a lot of stiffness to the brush itself, which I really like for dusting off the powder when I'm working with French pink or clear that's kind of see-through. It just helps to prevent all those bubbles to pop up later on, because you really want to make sure you dust all that powder off. So I will use the Peppy Duster brush to get the bulk of it off, and then I'll use this one to kind of just get all the extra little pieces off. But to do the actual ombre, I will be using the ombre brush from the nail brush pack. Again, if you don't have it, you don't have to. You can use any eyeshadow brush you have laying around. So you guys are going to have to forgive me. I get winded very easy talking a lot these days. So it always sounds like I'm gasping for breath, because I actually am. So please don't mind that as I go through the tutorial. Yeah, and just so you guys know, for anybody new hopping on, any color you want tonight, any one color that you want tonight with the code YourPick, URPICK. Alright, so how I like to do my ombre, I have tried the scrub method that I've seen go viral in the groups, and I have not been able to master that myself, although I've only tried it 1 or 2 times, and that was a really long time ago. But one day I will master it and show you guys that. But for the meantime, I am doing alternating methods with my ombre brush. And what I like to do is I like to start with the white on the first layer and just kind of go right around where my natural white tip is. So it kind of has a natural tippy look. Even though it's an ombre, it's not going to look natural. But just to kind of follow the natural guide of my nails, if that makes any sense. So we're going to go ahead and get started. That's correct, June. It's $4 off of one color. So normal price is $16.99. The sale is $12.99, so it'll be $4 off. You can only get one. Only one on sale tonight, but you can choose whichever one you want. So we're going to go ahead and start with a thin layer of number 1. And I'm going to cover most of my nail, but not all of it. I don't want to go quite up by the cuticle just yet. I'm going to hold my finger at an angle so the powder will kind of waterfall down into an ombre. Sometimes you can go a little bit heavy, as I just did here. It's okay, because you're going to do 3 layers, so it's kind of going to balance out anyways. Just remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just do your best, and each time you do it, it will get a little bit better. So we're going to do that on all of our fingers, all 5 fingers, and then we're actually, oh no, I didn't realize that moved. I wonder if you guys even saw that. So we're going to do that on all 5 fingers. Let me figure out which arm here is loose. I'm sorry, you guys. Let me just tighten up the phone stand here. There we go. So we're going to do that on all 5 fingers. And then we're going to alternate the way that we ombre. So the next round we'll start with the French pink and then go with the French white. So if you did miss that finger, no worries, because I'm going to do all the other ones so you guys can see them. So again, I'm just taking my time doing nice, thin, even layers of number 1. You do want to move a little bit quick with your ombre. You don't want your liquid to dry before you get a chance to like spread it out. All the powder, you want to make sure it's still wet so it can stick. But that is the good thing about alternating, like whatever you missed on the first round, you're sure to cover it on the second round. So the camera is like super close now, so hopefully you guys can see like the good details. Natisha, any color you want is on sale tonight. You can just use the code YourPick and you can get any one color you want for the live promo. Oh, Lupita said she ordered French pink. That is a good choice, girl. Thank you, Ashley. Yep, hopefully you guys can see the camera now. I don't know what happened, the arm got loose on it and the phone just started sliding down on me. Alright, so again, I'm just doing a nice thin layer of number 1. You guys are going to hear me say that probably on almost every finger, because I really want to just embed it into everybody who's listening. Just because it really does help in the end when you go to file and buff your nails. It's just less work for you to do. So just kind of rotate your finger as you're doing your ombre. Your line doesn't have to be perfect. And then just kind of move over into your next color and cover that the negative space left behind on your nail. And then I just kind of tap off over to the side on a paper towel. Ombre is a little bit messy. I don't keep a dump jar like a lot of you guys do. So if you are like me and you're a little bit messy, just do it on a paper towel or create a little dump jar and see what your colors make as you tap them all off. But just don't tap them into your main colors here or else they'll end up mixing and they won't be pure anymore. Melissa said she got Glorious. Thank you. Margaret got Wild Child. Thank you. Candy got Appalachian Mountain. Thank you. Michelle, we're working on new colors now. That'll be coming soon. We actually got some really cool stuff in the works. Super excited about that. And before anybody asks, we have a major restock happening soon. Everything's in production now, so it just takes a little bit of time. Alright, ladies, so we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on this finger over here. Just following my natural tip and turning my finger so I can cover the whole thing. When you ombre, it is easy to kind of miss a side of your finger if you're not turning it all the way, which is the worst because you don't want chipping later. So just be careful and make sure you're kind of rotating with the brush if you're doing the brush method like I am, so you can get your full nail covered. I saw SpaceX. India got SpaceX. Thank you. Kimberly said, Sweet Tea will not be restocked. That is a mystery box color. Those do not come to the main line. And I am using French white and French pink for tonight's ombre. Or what's left of my French white anyway, since I dumped half of it on the floor. I can't believe I did that. So ombre is a lot of fun. What are some pairings that you guys would ombre together? What are your favorite ombre pairings? Like, it doesn't have to be, you know, French white and French pink. You can literally ombre so many colors. Like, what are your favorite colors to ombre? So what I'm doing is just wiping off the excess powder with my duster brush. But I'm actually, going to take this eyeshadow brush that's a little bit stiffer and just go over each of the fingers to really make sure I'm getting that excess powder off, because I don't want those little bubbles later. I just want a straight, like, nice ombre look. So this time I'm going to go in. I am going to go all the way up to the cuticle, stopping a hairline before. And I'm going to keep my finger pointed down this time, so the French pink will waterfall down, and then I'll cover the remaining space with French white. So the same method, just opposite. Ooh, peaches and oopsie, poolside popsicle, fun ombre. Girl, yes, and sweet tea. Pumpkin spice and autumn skies, that would be really pretty. What is a good time to replace the liquid brushes? So your brushes will last all the way to the end as long as you don't contaminate them. If you contaminate them and you find that they're getting hard a little bit, it's best to pull the brush out of the lid cap and just close your liquid up and replace it with one of the replacement brushes. Brandy, she loves this month's mystery box colors. Thank you, they are beautiful. Heather got herself a cottontail. Thank you, girl. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start with the second layer. Again, this time I'm going to go all the way up, stopping a hairline before the cuticle. Again, doing thin layers of number 1. We don't want the nails to be too thick. We want them to be nice and natural. And just kind of rotate the nail around. And then bring the French white over and just cover that remaining space. And then tilt your finger down over your dump jar or paper towel and tap off that excess, because you get so much excess when you ombre. So you just don't want to bleed it into your colored jars over here, especially when you're working with these type of light colors. Angie says, will our mystery box subscription still be automatic after the switchover, or will we have to resubscribe? I'm not sure what switchover you're mentioning, but when you sign up for the mystery box, at that moment of signing up, it's automatic unless you pause or cancel. Alright, ladies, so we're going to go ahead, do the same thing. Thin layer of number 1. Going all the way up and stopping a hairline before the cuticle, never on. Always a hairline before and never on. If you get product on your cuticle, no matter what nail product it is, as your nails grow, you're going to have lifting. So in order to avoid that, you always stop a hairline before, so you can avoid that natural lift as your nails grow out. Alright, and then I'm just going to go over here and tap, tap, tap it off. And then every now and then, if I feel like I need a little extra cleanup, I'll use a toothpick or the back end of the Peppy cuticle pusher and just run it right around the cuticle. Sometimes I find myself doing that with ombre because you're not really quite seeing exactly, you know, how clean your line is until you tap that excess powder off. So sometimes I always go back and just double check it. Frances says she can't wait to see what her dump jar looks like. Yeah, you'll have to post a picture. I love seeing those. I like seeing what gets created out of it. Alright, ladies, again, just doing the same thing. I'm only going to do a total of 3 dips this evening. So on the next layer, I'm going to revert back to the way I did it the first time with the French white. And it just kind of levels it all out. So who here does ombre on their nails, and which version do you like better? Do you like doing the brush method or the scrub method? I mean, the scrub method looks really great. I'm not knocking it. I don't know why. Maybe I just didn't have a good brush that day. It's been a long time since I've actually tried it, so I'll have to try it again. But I just couldn't do it. Like, that actually challenged me a little bit. Erica says she's trying it for the first time. The scrub method or ombre? Or both? The code is your pick, so URPICK. So if you guys look at the title of the video or the pinned comment, you can actually see the code, just in case. And then that will allow you to get any one color you want for $12.99 tonight. I figured French white and French pink would be a little bit boring, so we gotta spice it up a little bit. Let you guys pick what you want. Alright, so again, just same thing, taking my time. I know my background's not too pretty, but I'm making a mess this evening, so it's easier to clean up this way. And again, just rotating my finger, just trying to get the color to kind of waterfall down a little bit. That waterfall is what really creates the ombre. And you'll find not every nail will be perfect, and that's okay. Practice makes perfect. Ombre is a little bit harder to learn. I definitely will admit that, especially this method. But a couple practices and you're pretty good. You get it down easy. So we're going to go ahead and go to our thumb, which is the last finger for the second layer. And then we're going to do our third and final layer. Kathy says, can someone give her ideas for colors? I have so many, very few I don't have. Oh man, everybody give Kathy some comments on what color you think she needs to add to her collection. I love French ombre, you guys. I think it's just such an easy, simple, just classic look, which worked out really great. I was supposed to have maternity photos last week and they got canceled and moved to this week. So I needed a nice, of course, natural set of nails for that. So I was like, French ombre is perfect. We haven't done that in so long. And you guys ask for it a lot. Alright, so now we're just going in over to our white. There we go. And then tap that off. Alright, so this is what 2 layers looks like after I dust them off. Let me dust them off for you guys. I always wait to do my thumb just so I allow enough time for the powder and the liquid to dry. But here's what 2 layers look like. So we're going to do a 3rd layer, but it's really going to tie it all in together. And then once we buff, you're going to see, like, it really brings the ombre out and makes it pop. And then I'm just using the stiff eyeshadow brush over here to get any of that loose powder off so it doesn't create any bubbles when we go to seal it up here in a little bit. I'm still confused about the subscription question, unless I missed the answer on that, because I really do want to help you out with that. I hope I answered it clear. Deborah, I am using French white and French pink, but to get your $12.99 color, you can pick any color you want with the code YourPick, URPICK. Lauren, thank you. Yes, girl, you definitely got to give it a try. Make sure you post it in the group. If you guys aren't in the group, check out Peppy Gel Dip Powder Tips and Tricks. It's so much fun. Everybody posts their peppy cures in there, so it's really fun to look at and get inspiration. Alright, so now we're going to go in with our third and final layer. And I'm going to rotate back to the white on this one. So you always want to alternate. I don't know what it is. I'm going to be honest. Like, I always do my pinky too high. I don't know if it's just a small finger or my angle is weird. But it's okay, because I still love it. Alright, so then I'm just going to go ahead and check my cuticle line, because it is my final layer. Just want to make sure it's nice and clean. You can use the cuticle pusher, the peppy one, or whatever one you have at home, like I just did. Or you could use a toothpick or whatever you have handy, one of the orange manicure stick things. You can use one of those. Peony is beautiful. I think that is definitely a good color. I love the little shimmer in it. It's awesome. Alright, so again, our third and final layer on all these fingers. Going in with the white the first time, or this time, sorry, like the first time. We're just gonna hold the finger down, slant it backwards, I mean, so it kind of waterfalls itself. I love it, I love it. I love French ombre. I don't wear it enough. What is your favorite manicure that you love and would wear all the time? Like, this is one for me. If I could get away with wearing this all the time, although you guys would be really bored looking at it, I would definitely wear this a lot. Lauren says, this will be my next mani and she will not chicken out. Don't chicken out, girl. You got this. You got this. You can always practice on a swatch stick too. Alright, so going in on my middle finger now. Just taking my time, thin layer number one. The thinner you can get it, the more natural your nails will look, but also the cleanup in the end will be easier. It'll be less buffing to do, which is always nice. Nobody wants to work too hard, right? Just enough. All right, and then I move my finger over to the side and tap off that excess. So you'll see me pick up the black stiffer eyeshadow brush over here just because that powder kind of flings. I just want to make sure it's nice and clean before I go ahead and seal it in on this last layer. Yep, you can use any eyeshadow brush you want, or you can pick up the nail art brush that we offer online, the set, because there's 3 or 4 other brushes in there to do other nail art, so it's totally up to you. You can use what you have or get the pretty peppy ones, it doesn't matter. Alright, ladies. So just going in again. Still Still trying to follow my natural tip line. Just kind of spreading out that white powder so it ombres up a little bit. So if you find like on one of your layers that it didn't ombre enough, you can adjust it, you know, on the next layer and ombre it up a little bit more, and it will help create a really nice fade. There we go. I missed a little bit. All right, so now we're wiping off the thumb for our last and final finger. Melanie says she could only pick one. Manny, it would be SpaceX. I have yet to wear SpaceX, and I wish I had it because I actually wanted to do it as my white for this ombre tonight. I was really loving Snow Glow. Like, I loved the glow in the dark. It was so much fun. Erica, you got this, girl. I know you can do it. Alright, so now we're going into our final finger here. Oh my gosh, I wasn't even in the camera. All started with spilling the peppy jar. It just threw me off my game a little bit. Oh, a little too heavy on that one. That's okay. When we go to buff it, it's going to fade out. That's what I love about doing it this way, is like, because you buff that first layer, you know, and it just fades out that ombre. Alright, so now we got all 3 layers. We're going to go ahead and move the ombre brush to the side. Check our cuticle line one last time. And now we're going to go ahead and dust off all that excess powder using the Peppy duster brush. You can use any brush you have at home if you don't have one of these, no worries. And then I'm going to use the stiff eyeshadow brush to really get all that excess powder off the nail before I set them with the number 2. You guys, I love this. I love it. And I just cut my nails down so much. They were so long. Of course, they still look long, but they don't feel as long. Alright, so now I'm taking the number 2. And I'm just putting it on top of all of my nails, making sure I get around the cuticle, in the side walls, and on the tip. Very important. Number 2 is what cures everything. Makes it stick nice and good to your nail, so you really want to make sure that you cover your nails up really good. Alright, so here's what it looks like before we buff it. Once we go to buff, you're going to see it's going to level all out and it's going to look beautiful. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this paper towel out of the way. I hate the feeling of the powder like on the desk or the paper towel. It literally drives me crazy. I'm a texture person, you guys. If something feels like sandy or gritty, I just can't do it. Can't do it. Alright, so after we set our nails, we wait about 1 minute to 2 minutes so it can kind of activate, get nice and hard, and do its thing. So as we wait, what I'm going to do real quick is I just want to go over bottle care because I think I forgot to do that in the beginning of the live. You really want to make sure when you're using your Peppy bottles, number 1 and number 3, that you never touch the brush, like I just did, up here on the top of the bottleneck or on the rim. You have to remember these liquids are like adhesives, so if you get any residue up there, you are going to risk gluing your bottle shut, and it's very hard to open. The only way to avoid having a stuck shut lid is to avoid getting liquid in those regions. So you can always use a lint-free wipe to kind of wipe it off after each use, just to be sure, before you seal your bottle up so you're not at risk. So the code tonight is your pick, URPICK. You can get any one color that you want on sale for $12.99. So we are doing a wild card tonight to kind of switch things up a little bit. Ooh, Glow Getter Ombre. That sounds pretty. I love it. Bubbly at Brunch or Aura and Bubble Yum. Beautiful. I love it. I love reading your guys' suggestions. They're awesome. You guys always think of colors like that I personally wouldn't think of pairing together. So I really love seeing like other people's perspectives on pairings and color uses. Like it really helps to open my mind up a little bit and see, you know, what else is out there. I love it. You guys are so creative. Alright, so I'm going to take the nail drill. I'm using the Belle portable drill. There's a link to this drill in the Facebook group. Sorry, I got something on my face. In the Facebook group, it's actually a different color now, but it is the same drill. This one's really old and beat up, as you can tell, but I've had it for a while. It works amazing, and it's portable, which is my personal favorite thing about it. But I'm just going to go ahead and put my drill on a nice low and slow setting, or speed, and just start going over all of my nails. A low and slow speed is really important. It gives you more control over your drill and how you use it. So you can really just kind of get up in there and get everything nice and smooth. Oh, I love it. It's so smooth, you guys. And the ombre, like right now, it just looks so milky, but when you go and like dust it all off and then put your shine on, it is a milky ombre and it's so pretty. Melissa, don't be afraid to use your drill, girl. Just get with it. If you use the metal bit, I'll show you, like, it doesn't hurt. If you get it on your skin, like, it'll leave a little dry patch, but it's not going to nick you and hurt you. If you use those red, like, sandpapery drill bits, those you should be scared of because they hurt when they hit your skin. But if you use the metal drill bits, they're really nice. They're user-friendly, so don't be afraid. And just remember a low and slow speed so you have full control over how you use your drill and where it's going on your nails. And then I always just kind of tilt my finger and go right around the cuticle. I always want to make sure that's nice and clean. Just another reassurance to make sure there's no product on the cuticle, which is very important in terms of preventing lifting along with nail prep. You guys will even see I even go off the back of my nail and hit the cuticle, and it doesn't harm me in any way. If you had it on a super high speed, it might, so just be careful and remember to go slow and low and just take your time. So I'm going to try to read comments while I'm doing this. Jasmine, you can pick any color you want on sale tonight. The code is YourPick, URPICK. Any one color you want. I figured French white or French pink was a little bit boring, and you guys might want to pick something more exciting on your own. Spicing it up a little. I love it. If you guys like had a hard time choosing which drill and had were okay with a little bit higher of a budget, the Belle portable drill it's so good. It's a really good brand too. There are other options that are on the more affordable side, I think under $20, which I also have those posted in the group. They're great starter drills. The lifespan of them is not very long though. Sometimes I've seen them die out pretty quick. But they're not bad. They're good starters. So if you're just starting out and you're trying to decide if doing your own nails is your thing, that's definitely a good route to go. Alright, so I'm almost done. I got just my pointer and my thumb left. And then I'm going to give it one more smooth over with the buffer because I really love the finish of the buffer over the drill. It's just smoother and nicer, in my opinion. And just go right around the cuticle. So if you do like having extra layers, sometimes I do 4 dips on my nails. You can always add a layer of clear if you want that extra layer. When I'm doing an ombre though, I really stick to 3 because I really like, after I buff it, it just kind of fades the ombre a little bit because you're taking layers off that you just put on. I know that sounds silly, but you're smoothing it all out and it really shows. Alright, and now on our last finger, our thumb. Just really taking my time, ladies. No need to rush. Don't rush doing your nails. It's your time. It's your me time. Alright, so now that I'm done with the drill, I'm going to go ahead and just take my buffer. I like to use a really used up buffer just because it has a nice smoother finish. And I just go right over all the nails and just really smooth them out. And I'm going to show you my ring finger and my middle finger, what I mean by it looking smoother. And you don't have to use both. This is just a personal preference. You can use one or the other, the buffer or the drill. You don't have to have a drill. But if you look at my ring finger versus the drill on my middle finger, it just has a nice, really softer, smoother look to it versus the middle finger after the drill bit. So that's really the real difference between the two, but it's also a personal preference, so you can choose which either way you want to do it. Alright, so let me check comments real quick in between. The next mystery box opening will be next week on the 10th. So May 10th through May 13th. And that is for your June box. So it will ship in mid to late June. Boxes that were prepaid in April will ship mid to late May. So always remember, boxes will always ship 30 to 45 days after you're actually charged for them. And what that does is it allows us enough time to produce the exact amount of colors that we need for the subscribers to the box. Alright, so after I do that, I will dust off the excess powder from buffing off my nails. Now, I know I've already filed and shaped them, but anytime you put product on your nail, it's kind of going to overlay and change that shape just a little bit. So I always take the banana file, which these are super awesome on the Peppy site. You can use any banana file you have, but these ones are great. And then I just go in and I touch up my shape just to make sure everything is nice and smooth before we seal it up. The discount code is YourPick, URPICK. Becca, just email me, peppygel@gmail.com. I'll reach out to you tomorrow and we'll fix it. Alright, so this part is really hard for me, you guys. I got carpal tunnel in my hand right now. So just bear with me as I work through this. Alright, So just a nice little touch up. If you notice your shape is off a little bit, this is a really good time to fix it before you seal it up, so you don't have to worry about trying to fix it later. So usually when I'm filing and shaping my nails, I always do it on the edge of my desk because it allows me to have more stability with my nail itself. And I always try to use a contrasting background so I can see. There we go. I had to get to the desk for a second there. So I could see exactly the outline of my nail. So like if I'm, for example, doing my French ombre on this really light background, it's very hard for me to see the shape. Not that I have bad eyes or anything, but it just kind of blends in. So if I always use a contrasting background, something a little bit darker, it really helps to outline the shape, and that's how I'm able to acquire the shape that I'm going for. So just a little tip that might help you guys down the road. Alright. I want to move the camera to the table, but I don't want to blind you guys with my belly and my legs. I have shorts on today. Alright, ladies, so I'm going in. Just taking my time. Always take your time, especially with the shaping. It really shows. What is everybody's favorite nail shape? Are you guys coffin, square, ballerina, oval, squoval, stiletto? What are you guys' favorite? What is your favorite? Jordan, we never had gel polishes. We had regular polishes, and they weren't too popular when we did have them. Like, a lot of girls did like them, but they weren't like super popular. So I don't know. If we have enough requests, maybe we will bring it back if you guys decide that it's popular again. We always go off of what you guys want. Congrats, Andrea. That's awesome. I'm seeing a lot of square with rounded edges, square to coffin. So ballerina is like, it's more angled in than coffin, I guess, would be, excuse me, I think that's a good description. But if you look up like nail shapes online, there's like a whole chart that like has them all side by side so you can see. And it's actually been posted in the group a lot. So it'll give you a good idea versus me explaining it. I know I'm not always the best at explaining sometimes. Alright, so I only have 2 fingers left. I'm just going to finish those up real quick. So sometimes my edges up here, my corners, get a little bit sharp, so I always try to get them down just a little bit without changing my shape by going underneath. There we go. I've left them sharp before, and I would go to like scratch my leg or something and then end up with like a big old scratch on my leg. Actually, I do that all the time. I know I can't be the only one that does that. Alright, so we're just going in and just taking our time. Alright, there we go. Alright, so that is what my nails look like shaped. Here's what they're starting to look like. Now we're going to go ahead and just dust them off one more time. And we're going to apply that number 2 and get into our number 3. So number 3 bottle, just remember the same bottle care as your number 1. However, when you transition from your number 2 to your number 3, It's very, very important that the transition is super smooth, because again, your number 2 is what cures the entire peppy system. So if you find that your number 3 brush is getting hard for whatever reason, it's because the number 2 residue has transferred over on it and it's trying to do its job, just unfortunately in the wrong place. But just stick with me and I will show you guys exactly how to avoid that. So we're going to take the number 2. I need exactly 2 minutes. I don't want to do it sooner and I don't want to wait longer. 2 minutes is the sweet spot to make the number 3 shiny and everything work properly. So this time I'm not going to saturate my nails with the number 2. I'm just going to do just enough to cover them. But I'm not going to saturate them. If you apply too much number 2, it's not going to absorb into the nail as much as you want it to before you do your number 3, which might be a reason why you end up with a hard brush. Alright, so it is 9:20 now, and I'm going to wait 2 minutes before we get into our number 3. Lenora says she'd like to see a caramel camel color. That's a good suggestion. I like that. Ooh, a lot of squoval and square shapes. Angie, I never replace my number 3 brush, but if you do contaminate yours and it gets hard, I do highly suggest you pull that brush out of your cap and close your bottle and then replace it with a new brush when you get one. Ariana, yeah, I love ballerina nails. My nail beds are just so wide. Unfortunately, it just does not work for me. I wish it did. So at about a minute through, I'm going to wipe all my nails on a different spot of a paper towel. This is very important. The goal here is to eliminate any number 2 residue from transferring over onto the brush. Very important. We want to eliminate as much of it as we can. Then I'm going to turn my paper towel, refold it a different way, because I'm going to wipe my number 3 brush on the paper towel. I don't want to wipe it where I just wiped my nails, or else it'll defeat the purpose of avoiding that number 2 contamination. So I just flip it over. So now I'm just waiting on my last minute, and then we'll get into applying our number 3. And it is now 9:22, so we're going to take our number 3, same bottle care as the number 1, and we're going to do 2 to 3 quick strokes on each finger. Quick is the key word. Wipe the brush on the paper towel, and then dip back into the bottle and go to your next nail. Try not to overlap your strokes too much. The more you overlap them, the more you're smearing that number 2 residue, so it will affect the way that your shine ends up. And go thin with your number 3, but not so thin that it's already streaky on the first coat. You want to make sure you have good coverage. And then immediately go back in and do your second coat. Here you can overlap, it's not a big deal. Make sure you seal your tips, your free edge there, to help prevent any lifting at the corners. And do this on all 5 fingers. And voila. Now we will just wait for them to dry, which will only take about 2 to 3 minutes, and then we are good to go. Francis, I never wipe on the second coat. I only always wipe on the first, but if you want to be extra cautious, you most certainly can wipe on the second coat. Lupita, no, you can't really clean the brushes because you're going to risk contamination. Like, the liquids are super sensitive. So you have to think, like, anything extra besides the powder that touches your nails. So, hold on, let me rephrase that. Like, your number 1 is good for the powder, right? but you still have to wipe off that excess powder so it doesn't get stuck on your number one brush. So anything outside of the system that touches your brushes will contaminate it. Acetone, alcohol, certain nail dehydrators. The number 2 will contaminate it because its job is to cure and make it hard. Certain nail art gems that you might put on your nails or whatnot, like those things. So you have to be really, really careful. And it's always, like, if you make mistakes or you like to just try new things or whatever, it's always good to have a little stack of replacement brushes on hand. They're like $4 on the website and you get a couple of them. Yeah, Lupita, you always have to wipe after number 2. You got to wipe your nails on the paper towel and then use a fresh spot of the paper towel to wipe your number 3 brush. It's so, so, so important. Thank you, Michelle. Yeah, they're really pretty. The light in here does not really show, like, the true beauty. So I will post a picture so you guys can actually see the true ombre, because there's, like, shadows casting that's kind of throwing it off a little bit. But they're super pretty. Just very natural, very, you know, just delicate and simple. Nothing crazy, no crazy vibes going on here. Ashley, yes, you can go on the Peppy Gel page, the fan page, not the group, and go under the video section, and it'll be the newest video for you, there for you to watch. The colors I am using are French White and French Pink. Yeah, definitely try the French Ombre. It's so pretty, especially if you're like going to an event or have photos or just want like a palette cleanser. This is a really great go-to, a classic. Alright ladies, so that's it for this evening. My favorite thing to do after a peppy cure is a salt or sugar scrub on my hands, just to kind of get all that dead skin off of me, that acetone from soaking prior, and then I slather up in Vaseline to kind of bring the moisture back to my skin. And by tomorrow, I'm back in shape. So I will show you guys my after in the next day or two. And thanks for hanging out. Bye.